Hey guys, this is Megan Young and welcome back to my channel. It's my second video, so I hope you're watching. If you're wondering why I'm in the garage, it's because my parents are back from their vacation and they're currently occupying the house, to which I cannot enter right now. And let's get started by saying, warning, viewers, warning, or you don't get it. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Still don't get it. Watch a little movie called Lost in Space. It's a 90s movie. It's a good bad movie, but a good movie nonetheless, if you like good bad movies. The reason I give this warning is because for the past week, this is how it's been going. Just get into it. Sleep, seizure, wake up. Sleep, seizure, wake up. Sleep, seizure, wake up. Rinse and repeat, and you know, this is no fun and equals 0 sleep. I mean, really, if you wake up every few minutes, you don't get any sleep. I also have insomnia, and right now I'm recording this late because of all of this shit. And above me, there are flashing lights, and I don't have seizures like most people with epilepsy do. When they look at a flashing light, I get nauseous. So right now I'm already nauseous. If I complain about that, forgive me. Now, sorry, it's a garage. I have allergies. And I didn't think to bring anything out here. So I've gotten a couple of questions from about 3 different people, and they are what I've already answered. Seriously, allergies, man. They are, why are you doing this YouTube channel, and who is your target audience? Why am I doing this channel? I did say it to provide information and awareness, and the thing about that is that those things are intertwined. When you provide one, information and awareness, you pretty much get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And there you go. The awareness part is actually one of my topics. There are many awareness topics, but the first one is stigma that I'll get to after I answer your second question. Target audience. Anyone and everyone who is on the planet Earth, or the moon, or Mars, or anyone on LV426, I mean, if xenomorphs get satellite reception, cool. If the androids are looking at it, if you're on site 223, I mean, whatever. Yeah. I can name all of them if you want, and no, I don't consider the first 2 movies part of the Alien franchise. Anyway, your second question. I answer that. It's everyone. I am getting bitten like crazy out here. Okay, so my topic. Seriously. I don't like the feeling of things crawling. My topic is stigma. And now, I've had a lot of positive, negative, who are you kidding? Positive stigma doesn't exist. There's a reason it's called stigma. You associate something negative with something else a person has or does. Now that's not the real definition of stigma, but it's hell of a close enough. I don't know how I said that sentence or if it made sense, but it made sense to me. So, yeah. If it makes sense to me, I'm good. If it didn't to you, ask me about it. It just means that, oh hey, yep, that's what stigma means. Okay, so let me tell you a little story. I'll try to get through it fast. After I thank 5 people. I want to thank my parents. They have dealt with so much. And I don't know how they do it. I can't imagine. I want to thank my soulmate. My best friend, who has just become an old lady, so congratulations, old lady. I love you, and you will never be rid of me unless you want to be rid of me. But without those two, I would not be here today. And for my best friend, my soulmate, that is not a guilt trip to say, hey, you need to stay around or I'm not going to be around. That's just saying, hey, I appreciate you and I love you. And I don't know what I would do if I didn't have you and my parents. Now, thank you to MJ. I thanked you, MJ, but I needed to say it in a video. I got the dedication. And thank you to someone named Chase. A lot of people know who he is, but a lot of people also will not understand. We were together 5 years. He has dealt with the best and the worst of me. He is Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And yeah. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. I'm not applying to him. But I do with my parents and my soulmate. Other than that, it's because through the hard times that you guys have gotten me through all of that stuff. And sometimes Chase, yeah, not all the time. Told him about me doing this. I don't think he's watching. And that's okay. He doesn't have to. But I thank him anyway. Okay, so to my story. After Chase and I broke up, I used to go to bars. Well, a particular bar on Thursday nights to dance. It was party night. If you live in Temecula, you know about the place. If you don't live in Temecula, you know about the place. If you live near Temecula, you know about the place. Alright, so I went, had a good time, but this particular time I went in, got my drink, and the glass was like this, but full to the top because they want you as drunk as possible. Well, I'm sorry, but it takes 2 drinks unless you make the first one very strong. Please don't. Okay, so what happened is that I felt a seizure coming on, and this is not necessary for you to know, but I usually wait till the tingly feeling gets about here until I know it's a full-blown seizure. If it's just my hand, I'm like, yeah, that's probably my arm if it occurs. But this was my arm and my leg. So I was holding my arm and I was trying to keep my leg steady because my ankle turns to the right and that freaking hurts like a bitch. So, and I mean really, it's so painful. The thing about that is that I was wearing the right heels to dance, the wrong heels for a seizure. I slid and fell out of the chair I was in. 2 people saw me and I was like, okay, it's only 2 people. What I didn't know is that the security guard that I knew, we were on a first name basis since I went there all the time, as with the bartenders. Yep, that's how much I went. He came over and said, this is my little stigma story. He said, if this happens one more time, I am going to have to escort you from this establishment. And I said, you're going to have to remove me from the bar? Are you serious? And he said, yes, you are a liability. And I said, what? He said, you're a liability. And I was very baffled because that was the first time ever. Actually, yes, ever, that I have been called a liability to my face. First time that I know of, to my face. You call me that behind my back and whatever. But I didn't really know what to say, and usually I'm not one to back down or not speak my mind. I didn't. So I just went in. I just left. Not the bar, I left the situation. and went over, but that situation was dragging down my night. And then I thought, no, I'm not going to let this dude ruin my night. So I go back over to him and say, "Excuse me, sir," twice, by the way. And he says, "Yes." And I said, "Do you recall earlier when you called me a liability?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Well, that was uncalled for, unnecessary, and rude. I would appreciate an apology." And he said, "I'm sorry, but you are a liability." And I said, "Excuse me, no. No one with a disorder they cannot control is a liability. Now, I understand if I actually took a sip of alcohol, then yes, I would be a liability. But in this case, I'm not in any way a liability." And he said, "We can't afford damages." I was like, "What did I damage? Myself? That's the only thing I would be damaging. I wouldn't damage your floor that people dance on every Thursday." Yeah, I got my spunk back, and my brain was like, well, to the guy, British for. I'm gonna do the British one because I'm pretty sure the other one is gonna get me cut off from YouTube. So yeah. Alright, but I am not the only one on earth that has to deal with stigma. People of, how am I going to say this? People with any disorder deal with stigma on a daily basis. This is not something you can get rid of. It's not something that ever goes away. It's like discrimination. They have the Discrimination Act, or whatever the hell it's called. I'm tired right now, and flashing lights. Well, people do it anyway. Now, this situation is not discrimination. I just don't have the word. And Brant, I didn't say your last name, so you're good that I say your first name. I remember. He gave me 3 words. One I didn't know the meaning of, so I asked for 2 others, pretty much in layman's terms. There are a lot of big words I understand that he says, and I'm just like, okay, I'm good. But sometimes, dude, what does that mean? I don't know what that word means. Or same thing with my roommate, Matt. He reads a lot. History crap that I don't care about. And yeah, there are words I don't understand, so I've asked the meaning. And I don't mind. What I do mind is people assuming I am dumber than I am. For example, a professor I had, they thought that exact thing. Every time I got a chance to answer a question she posed to the class, I would try to be the first one on it. I tried to do well, but I guess wanting to answer every time did not exactly get in her good graces. It was annoying her. So we pretty much sassed back and forth. And I'm like, lady, she asked a question and I gave her the exact answer, but it was too biological for her. And she wanted a very simple answer. And I kept thinking, if you treat the class this way, you are not going to get any bright students, really. These guys are going to leave your classroom, passing your class, and thinking, wow. Now, that is not to say that people that haven't passed her class are dumb or unintelligent in any way. She's a hard-ass grader. Day of the finals, she says to me, she stops me and says, I guess I had 2 stories. She says, she's sitting down, I'm standing, so I'm going to look up. I'm acting. She says, "I am very impressed by you. I did not expect you to do as well as you have done." And of course, I said, thank you, I appreciate that. But in my head, I was like, you could have left the second part out, because what you said after "I'm very impressed with you" negates your entire compliment. It was what is known as a backhanded compliment. It's pretty much a slap in the face. It's like saying, I thought you were dumb, but I guess you're not, because I got a freaking B+ in our class. So it was, my grade, I tried so damn hard, was a big to her. It was also proving myself, not to myself, it was proving myself to her, because she really did not believe I could do what I did. I hate that. And I know a lot of people with many different disorders, or the same ones, experience the same things. Now, in the case of seizures, every time you have one, it degrades your brain. It kind of kills a little cell or neuron every single time. So what one of my doctors who lacked bedside manner said, every time you have a seizure, you get dumber and dumber. It's like, well then, I might as well dye my hair blonde, except my soulmate, my best friend, is blonde, and she is one of the smartest people I know. But to be fair, she also dyes her hair. I love you, girl. Come on. No, she's really blonde and intelligent, but it's that stereotype. And then let me get back to the disorders. People think you have a disorder, this happens to you. I know it happens when you have a seizure. You're not smart. I have proven many professors wrong over the past few semesters. It's insane. Again, not boast. Again, I don't know if I said, I can't remember. I'm not boasting. I am merely trying to state that people think, they believe with stigma, you are unintelligent, you are incapable of doing certain things. Like, say you're autistic but very high functioning, and you're also very intelligent. You are very well suited for a certain position, and that's where I actually believe discrimination and categorization come in. You're lumping people with a certain disorder in with a certain job because you believe they can't do something else. Now, one, you're discriminating. That's just fucking discrimination. And we hate that. We do. It gives us negative feelings. It makes us feel lowly. So, one, you just believe we're lowly, I guess, and that makes us want to prove to you, no, we are not this way. You think we can't do things that we can do, like get good freaking grades in your class, just because we said the wrong answer, but it's technically correct, just not the one you wanted. Whatever. I mean, seriously, that's the only word I could come up with. You think we couldn't do certain jobs? I already stated the jobs one, but for me specifically, I have never had a real job. Although that's actually because of a different topic. It's because of my epilepsy. I am told I cannot work. And I have a lot of proof that I can't. But that's not the point. If it were, say, 10 years ago, yeah, I could have worked, but every time I told you I have epilepsy, and you look down and, write your little notes, or I go into a job interview that said, oh, you don't need experience, and then they come out and tell me, you don't have enough experience? Oh, I'm freaking, really? Because your application said no experience needed or necessary or whatever the hell word they wanted to use. And see, this is back when I was controlled. And now that I'm not controlled, oh God, this is a whole other topic entirely about my life. But it relates to stigma. People also don't believe you. When you're trying to explain your seizures or the topic I'm going to have next in conjunction with stigma, no, they're just like, you're faking it. You're definitely faking it. Just like, okay, yeah, I know I don't look super tired, but that's the magic of makeup. It's expensive. Now, I am going to have to close up because it's past the 20-minute mark. And I will continue this on Friday. Or you will have a video by next Friday. I really do hope people watch. I know, freaking bugs! I'm not talking about the bugs. I really do hope that you can look past the minutes and watch, because this is the only place where views matter. And it's not the likes, actually. It will, if you spread this link, if you spread my channel, I swear to God, there will be more information and more awareness and more understanding about epilepsy and other disorders, because we really need it. We really do. We are very much, and I say we because of just disorders, we are lacking in that area. We are lacking compassion. We are lacking believability, or whatever the hell bigger term I'm trying to think of is. But yeah, please. My brain is giving out. So, you know what, guys? I really do hope you have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you next Friday. Bye.